Welcome back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about the offensive line struggles, and I'm going to be talking about Mike McGlinchey. So, in Sunday's game, he really struggled against three players, especially J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, and Chandler Jones. Now, it was mostly J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt had a monster performance. I don't think he recorded a sack, but he was all over the field making big plays, and it felt like he was winning every single time against Mike McGlinchey. Now, early in the year, McGlinchey started out really doing well in the first couple of weeks. I emphasized that a lot of like why the 49ers are doing really well and like why they're succeeding, especially in the run game, like the Lions game. And then since Kittle's got banged up, you've seen him fall off a little bit. And then last weekend, without George Kittle this week, he struggles a ton. Didn't just struggle in the pass game either. He was struggling run blocking as well. He was getting blown up. It felt like a lot. So today, I'm kind of going into, should he be moved to guard? Now, the first thing that I think is going to stand out is, okay, Mike McGlinchey is not a typical guard height. Most guards are a little shorter than tackles, and McGlinchey's 6'8", and that is huge for a guard. Now, I looked it up. There's a couple notable guys as well. Andrew Norwell, Kyle Long were both 6'6". And then in 2018, there were actually 15 guards that were 6'6" at least. So there's a couple guys that, are pretty big. I don't know if 6'8" is too big to play guard. If any of you guys know, I mean, I don't know a ton about like offensive line coaching and offensive line footwork, stuff like that, or why you really wouldn't want a guy at 6'8". So this whole, idea of moving him, really, that matters a ton. But I think if you add 2 inches, like 2 inches more on what, some guys are really good playing at 6'6", I think it is possible. But if anyone knows a little bit more than me, I would love to hear why. But I don't think he can be a tackle in the NFL. He cannot block one-on-one in pass situations. And he gets beat immediately so much. And then, the biggest reason for why it's worth it, like, oh, he's an okay pass blocking tackle, is in the run game, he's great. But it doesn't feel like he's been as dominant as 2019. It really doesn't. It feels like he's taken a step back even this year. And a lot of people, for 2020 put on, well, he was playing at a much lighter weight. He's been at like 285, which is super light. And then this year he gains that weight back and he just doesn't look there. Like he gets so like lost in his footing and just unbalanced, and he just gets blown up. And he's missed a couple times. He has really struggled and got beat really bad. And then you see that cost them on a 4th down, a 3rd down, whatever it is on some of these situations. The other reason I like the idea of moving him to guard, and I don't think that this would happen this season, but I think moving forward, because he is under contract next year, I think this has to be a possibility. Now, the other reason why is they don't have a guy at right guard right now. It looks like the future. Daniel Brunskill has been terrible this year, and Aaron Banks, we haven't even seen him on the field, and it's looked like the reports were that he looked really bad in practice. So you have a couple guys there, and then also Laken Tomlinson is a free agent, which they should absolutely re-sign Laken, because that left side has been great, but you have a hole at right guard. So if you kick him inside and you go get a tackle. Now, the one reason why I think they could do this in season would be if they worked out Mitchell Schwartz, and he looked good. Now, he suffered, I think it was a back injury last year, and in September, there was an article written about him saying that he wasn't quite like fully recovered. It's been a little over a month since that article was written. Now, I think you'd have to go work him out, see how he looks, and then it would probably take a week or two. But if they were to do that, it is weird to do to make that adjustment in season, but their right side of their offensive line is playing that bad where there needs to be some type of adjustment because they are getting bullied up front. So I don't know what you guys think about this one. It's a little bit different. The struggles have been there. And like in that game, I don't know if you guys saw Elijah Mitchell's numbers. Look at him running like up the middle or on the left side, then running on the outside on the right side. It's brutal. Like the chart's like this. It's bad. So let me know what you guys think. Should he be moved to right guard? I know that you draft a guy that high and you want him to be a premier tackle. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I really like Mike McGlinchey too. I think he's a great guy. Joe Staley loves him as well, but it just doesn't seem like he's performing well enough to keep throwing him out there because he can't do it one-on-one. And that's why you see him look a little bit better, because he gets almost concealed when Kittle's in the game or when Juszczyk's out there and they have guys helping him. But if you just have him go one-on-one, even against Zach Allen, like, he's gonna get beat more often than not. So you can't have that in the NFL. I mean, we've seen how many teams really struggle with that. I think you have to have two guys at tackle that can be solid, that can't just get beat all the time. Um, Kind of like for the defensive side of the ball, you need two corners, else one guy just gets picked on, and that's what teams are doing. They're putting JJ Watt on them. Now they have JJ Watt and Chandler Jones, so they have better time. But we're going to see teams move their best pass rusher over to Mike McGlinchey and try to, and the Niners are going to have to put help on that side. But then you always have Trent Williams playing like in one-on-one spots, which is tough. So it just puts you at a huge disadvantage. And in the run game, it doesn't feel like he's been that dude this year. And he's had a few big plays. That's like early on in the year, but the last few weeks it's looked really bad, and I don't know. I'm just really concerned. I think that's one of the Niners' biggest holes right now. So let me know what you guys think. If you think this is a bad idea, if you think 6'8" is too tall to be a guard, please explain why. Because like I said, I don't know a ton about like the coaching side of it, of why that would be an issue. But there are a couple of guys that are 6'6". So let me know what you guys think, and hopefully they figure it out up front, because else it's going to continue to be a struggle on the offensive side of the ball. So thank you all for listening, and I will be back tomorrow.